Batman's secret identity is not exactly a secret. Sure, all of us know, and a lot of heroes in the DC world know as well, which isn't really a problem. But a lot of villains know, and that is a problem. Though not as big a one as you'd think. Now, just a few of the villains who know Batman's real identity include Ra's al Ghul, Bane, the Joker, Lex Luthor, Vandal Savage, and the Riddler. And yet they don't go public with this information. They don't even spread it around in the criminal underworld. And we're going to go over why. Now, obviously there's not only one reason, there's several. And the first one is summed up to the Riddler by Batman when he says, "What's the value of a riddle that everyone knows the answer to?" And that is a large part of the reason. It's like knowing the secret to a magician's trick. The information is only useful when it's exclusive. If everyone knows, then the secret loses all of its value. I mean, we all know how some card tricks are done, and kind of makes them pointless. It's the tricky ones that matter. After all, everyone wants to be in the know, or to be part of a club, but the club has to limit its members in order to work. After all, if anyone can join, then it's not really impressive to be a member. And since we're dealing with megalomaniac narcissists, well, they very much want everyone to envy them, and they love being able to dangle this kind of information over the head of their fellow villains, just as a little reminder that they are better than them. Which leads us to the second reason, retail price. While the villains keep the secret, they have something valuable that can be exchanged one day, if they ever want to. It could be for money, sure, but most likely it would be for an expensive favour or a very hard to acquire item. And they have to keep this secret in order to be able to keep this ace up their sleeve so they can save it for a rainy day where they can cash in on it. The third reason is very similar to this, and that is of course power. While they keep the secret, they have power over Batman, a threat they can choose to enact at any time of their choosing. Now, admittedly, Batman would never be blackmailed, but he would probably keep a small secret or turn a blind eye to something small. A sort of mutual respect thing. Maybe he'd keep a secret of theirs if they keep the secret of his. Or maybe Batman would refuse to do anything at all, not even the smallest of favours for them. But the villain would believe they have power over him that they could one day use. And in truth, the villain wouldn't want to reveal it anyway. While they keep that secret, they hold all of the cards after all. But as soon as they share it, well, their hand is there for the whole world to see, and they have nothing left. It's the kind of thing a criminal would hold on to for the long nights in prison. Sure, Batman arrested me, but I know who he is, and I could tell the world if I wanted to. That's what I could do if I wanted. I mean, in all honesty, this would actually be quite reassuring for them to know they had some power left, even after everything has been taken from them. But again, if they tell the world, then they lose that reassurance. They could even tell their fellow cellmates, "I know Batman's identity," or "I know something you don't know." But if they tell it, well, then it loses all of its magic, doesn't it? And sure, deep down they know it's not going to change anything for them if they tell the world, but that's another reason why they wouldn't, because they know it wouldn't change anything. But so long as they keep the secret, they can lie to themselves or delude themselves into thinking that they have Batman's balls in a vice. It would give them a sense of self-worth, and you'd be amazed at how comforting a lie like that can be, especially when you're in prison and you literally have nothing else at all in the world. Which leads us to the fact that revealing the secret either changes nothing, or it changes everything. I mean, in all seriousness, Bruce Wayne wouldn't actually face any prison or criminal charges. Not really. Firstly, even if the police and the rest of the world knew he was Batman, that doesn't mean they could prove it in a court of law. Because they can't prove that it was him in the Batsuit every time. I mean, Batman's even had other members of the Bat family wear the Batsuit to pretend to be him for this very reason. The whole point in having a cape and cowl, a mask, is because no one knows who's under that mask.
If that's your best Batman, you're not gonna fool anyone, Grayson.
So he can always claim, nope, it was someone else who did that, wasn't me. And they wouldn't realistically be able to prove that. So at most, they'd probably get him for some financial white-collar charges of fraud and tax evasion, if they looked hard enough at his books. And that's if they looked hard enough and if they actually found something. So telling the world his secret has gained the villain nothing, yet they've lost the value of their secret that they could have at the very least traded for something else. Yet Batman would still be able to be Batman in his spare time, which of course he would now have more of. I mean, he may decide that if his secret is out there, he no longer needs to keep the mask of Bruce Wayne alive. He may just go on to be Batman full-time. And that is the worst thing imaginable for criminals, because if he stops pretending to be Bruce Wayne half the time, then he'd be Batman all the time. Which is what I meant by saying it would change everything. And if he's Batman for even more of the day than he already is, then he'd be taking out even more criminals and shutting down even more illegal operations, and none of the criminals want that. There's nothing worse for a criminal than losing money after all. It's literally the whole reason for being a criminal. Sure, for some it's supposedly about the thrill and the power, but without large amounts of money there is no thrill or power. And even those who are just thrill seekers or power hungry still have plenty of bills they've got to pay. I mean, to put it simply, revealing Batman's identity is like going nuclear on Batman. It's something that once you do, you can't undo, and it does devastating damage. So you want it to be your weapon of last resort. And the threat of using it is actually more useful than the reality of actually using it, much like nuclear weapons once again. Especially since the world's greatest detective will obviously figure out who revealed the info, and if there's one thing he loves, it's getting vengeance on criminals. And of course, people know that. And this is another big reason for keeping the secret: consequences. Telling the world this kind of secret has big ramifications. Firstly, Batman and the Bat family will be out for blood. Now, sure, they don't kill. Well, most of them don't kill. But even so, there are many other ways for them to hurt their enemies. Sure, they are heroes, so they're always busy fighting crime, but realistically, whoever revealed this secret would gain the Bat family's undivided attention, which means they would be going after them more so than any other villain. After all, there are always lots of villains for them to fight, and they have to choose which ones to go after on any given night. And the last thing you want to do is jump straight to the top of their to-do list. This fear is a strong motivator for all of the criminals to keep their mouths shut. And the fear is not just of the heroes, as was shown when Joe Chill originally found out Batman's real identity. He tried to tell the criminals gathered there that night, but before he could even tell them Batman's real name, the villains attacked him, which brought down the building on top of him, killing him. Now, this was partly because he started by telling them that he was the one who created Batman, and they immediately got angry and lashed out at him before they could actually get the critical information of his actual name. This was because they blamed Joe Chill for creating Batman because Batman always foiled their plans, and technically he did create him on the night that he killed his parents. Although personally I think the real reason these villains attacked so quickly was because they wanted the information to stay secret, and killing Joe Chill was the only way to ensure this. They wanted it to be a secret for the reasons that I have stated, but also because it would ruin all their fun. Which leads us to the Joker's main reason for keeping the secret. If Batman's real name is unknown, then he is a mysterious, larger-than-life figure of myth. Whereas if his name is known, then he becomes a known entity, not a legendary dark defender of the night, but just some rich guy with a trust fund and anger issues. And one with serious PTSD that he really should get treatment for. Needless to say, the brooding Dark Knight is far preferable as an adversary than some grieving orphan who has too much time and too much money on his hands. So the Joker keeps the secret in order to keep the myth of Batman alive. In mainstream comics, he even keeps the information from himself. He's actually locked it away in his own mind in order to keep the game alive. After all, who would he be without Batman? Now, this has actually been retconned and flicked around a bit here and there, so that sometimes Joker knows, sometimes he doesn't know, but usually he doesn't want to know because he wants to fight and defeat Batman, not Bruce Wayne. He's not really interested in who's under the cape and cowl, he's just interested in the cape and cowl. Which is actually why the Joker, along with other villains, will sometimes actually kill others who know Batman's identity. Partly for the reasons I have listed, sure, but mainly, especially with the Joker, because he believes that he is entitled to know Batman's identity and he alone is entitled to know it.
Secrets that are mine alone to know, Bruce. It's true, Batsy. I know everything.
Since he is the Batman's arch rival and therefore special. Which of course means that no one else is allowed to know this information. I mean, this is all due to the Joker's fixation on Batman that can't really be explained if we're being honest, other than to say that in Joker's mind, they have a deep bond that is enemy, friend, arch rival and brother, all wrapped into one very twisted wrapper.
No, you complete me.
Like I said, it makes no real sense, but the Joker believes it zealously, which is why he has often protected Batman's identity. I mean, for more details, check out the links in the description. And this is perhaps the best reason not to share the info, or to not even know the info to begin with, as the Joker, and sometimes other villains, will kill you to keep it a secret. That's a pretty big reason. I mean, they even keep it from themselves. They'll just kill you before you even tell them. So, way better not to find out in the first place, and if you do, to keep it a secret. I mean, a lot of Batman's enemies are crazy, sure. but they're not stupid, and they know that they don't want to fight people like the Joker because, well, why would you? It's just stupid. So unless there was something really big in it for them, they wouldn't reveal the information, and it would have to be something really, really big to loosen their lips. And those are several of the reasons, though probably not all of them, for the villains of Gotham to keep Batman secret. But I'm sure you can think of some that I've overlooked, so please let us know in the comments what other reasons you think there are, and if you agree with the ones that I have mentioned in this video, or if you don't agree, let us know either way. And I'd just like to quickly remind everyone that we have some merchandise available on our store, and to say thanks to all of you who have donated to the Needle Mouse Productions page on Patreon. And as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.